Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Friday, November 20th, 2020. And we begin with a fortune falling from the sky. In a case of right place, right time, a super rare 4.5-pound meteorite tore through the veranda of a home in Indonesia and landed still warm from its long journey. And while the homeowner now has a hold-a patch, he also now has the money to do it, and a whole lot of other things for that matter. According to experts, the surprise arrival from deep space is carbonaceous chondrite, a primitive and very valuable material believed to be 4.5 billion years old. The lucky homeowner sold his softball-sized chunk of the cosmos for more than $1 million, an amount equivalent to 30 years' worth of his salary. Not surprisingly, he's decided to retire and donate some of the money to his church. As for the rock, it's now stored in liquid nitrogen at the Center for Meteorite Studies at Arizona State University. Just don't. That's the new blunt Thanksgiving plea from the Centers for Disease Control to all Americans debating travel for the holiday. With new cases breaking all the wrong records, doctors say those who make the journey to see friends and family run the risk of unknowingly dragging the virus with them or bringing it back home. Anyone still inclined to pack up and go should quarantine first and or wear face masks indoors once they get to where they're going. Other suggestions for extended gatherings: no shared serving bowls and disposable dinnerware. The CDC has several specific Thanksgiving safety tips, and we've put in a link on our resource page inside the Teacher's Lounge on our website at www.kidnuz.org. On the positive side, there's now a third vaccine showing promise. Oxford University and AstraZeneca say their joint effort packs a powerful punch where it's needed most, in older adults. And Pfizer now says it will ask the FDA for emergency use authorization of its drug today. Once approved, the company says it can start distributing millions of doses within 24 hours. Dr. Fauci's response to the news? Great. But even though the cavalry is coming, you still need to wear your mask. While we wait, states are backpedaling. California just enacted a month-long overnight curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. At least 14 weekend college football games have been called off, and all just reopened Smithsonian museums will close back down again starting Monday. Also shutting down is D.C.'s National Zoo, but fortunately, not before you can help name its 3-month-old baby panda. Conservationists have narrowed the choices to 4 Chinese names: Fu Chai, or prosperous boy; Xiao Ji Qi, which means little miracle; Xing Fu, for happy and prosperous; or finally, Zai Zai, which is a traditional nickname for a boy. You have until tonight to get your online vote in. We've put a link on our resource page inside our Teacher's Lounge. The big name reveal is expected Monday. If you like your winters dark, it's time to head to Utqiagvik, Alaska, the northernmost town in America. At 1:30 p.m. this past Wednesday, the sun dipped below the horizon, and that's where it'll stay for the next 65 days. The result is basically nighttime all of the time, an annual phenomenon tied to Utqiagvik's location in the polar circle and the tilt of the Earth's axis at this time of year. Residents get ready for their polar night by stocking up on vitamin D, which they would normally get from sunlight, and by using special artificial lights known as happy lights to keep their moods up. When the darkness fades and the sunshine returns, it'll be January 23rd, 2021. Northwest Arkansas wants you and your family. So much so, the state is offering would-be residents $10,000 and a brand new bike to move there. Why the pitch? According to Travel and Leisure magazine, the so-called natural state wants to beef up its STEM resume by actively adding people interested in science, technology, engineering, and math. The timing of the offer isn't coincidental. COVID has lots of people rethinking where they want to live, and Arkansas is hoping this limited-time cash carrot might sway them its way. That's it for KidNuz. A reminder, you can find us on Alexa by saying, "Alexa, play the KidNuz podcast." Now, today's quiz. Why was the meteorite that fell through a roof in Indonesia so valuable? It was made of super rare carbonaceous chondrite. The CDC is urging Americans to not do what this Thanksgiving? Travel. The northernmost town in America just started what? Two months of darkness known as its polar night. What state will pay you money and a bike to move there? Arkansas. In One for the Road, what some are describing as a little Christmas miracle. Workers putting up the 75-foot Norway spruce at Rockefeller Center found tucked in its branches a tiny owl, a little guy that had apparently survived the tree's toppling and 170-mile trip to the Big Apple. He hadn't had anything to eat or drink in 3 days, but was immediately taken to a wildlife rehabilitation center identified as a northern saw-whet, given the obvious name Rockefeller, and provided all the mice, water, and attention he could possibly want. The plan is to get him healthy and on his way back to the wild. Before we head out for the weekend, it's time to turn it over to Kim for today's KidNuz Shoutouts.
Thanks, Tori. As always, we start with our teachers and their awesome students. In California, we have Ms. Hamilton at North Park in Valencia, Mrs. Tweeton at Ronald Reagan in Palm Desert, and Mrs. Segura Diaz in Parkview in El Monte. And across the country to Ms. Harris and her class at Allen Village School in Kansas City, Missouri. And we send birthday wishes to Hayden in New York, New York, Mari in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Michigan for Ronan in New Nica and Hunter in Grand Blanc, Illinois for Andrew in LaGrange, in Chicago, and Cooper in Lincolnshire, Evie in McMinnville, Tennessee, Jackson in Mesa, Arizona, to California for Liam in Santa Monica, Oliver in Los Angeles, and Taylor in Stockton, Aiden in New Hampton, Iowa, Charlie in Edmond, Oklahoma, Anthony in St. Peter, Minnesota, and Reese in McDonough, Georgia. Thanks for listening, everyone. A reminder to take our Week in Review quiz, and we'll see you back here for more Kid News Monday morning.